Hey guys, in this week's video we are looking at Jock Itch. Jock Itch is a very itchy condition and it's far more conditioned than you might actually think. So in this week's video we're going to learn all about it, why it happens, what the symptoms are, what to do for treatments and lifestyle advice, and loads more information, and most importantly when to seek medical attention for it. I know this is going to be a relatively long video, so as always I'm going to chapter it and timestamp it in the description below. If you want to find any specific information, feel free to click on that description, find a relevant information you want and click on it and watch it. However, I would always recommend that you watch the entire video. That way you're going to become a bit of a pro at it. Let's begin. So let's begin with the basics. What is Jock Itch? If you've never suffered from it, it can be very itchy and it usually affects your groin area. It's a fungal skin infection that affects your groin area, your upper thighs, your lower abdominal area, and even your bum area. Now the thing about fungal infections is they love certain environments. One, they love dark environments, and you think about it, the groin area is very dark. We're always hiding it away with our boxer shorts, with our trousers. They also love warm environments, again, all those layers that we put in there, and they also like sweaty environments as well. This all helps with their growth, and if you think about it, it is the perfect condition down there for it. And if you have fungal infections on other parts of your body, for example, if you have athlete's foot, by the way, if you do have athlete's foot, I do have a video all about that and how to treat it. If you haven't seen it, I will leave a link to it up here and in the description below. But if you have other fungal infections as well, it can sometimes transfer from there to the groin area to cause Jock Itch as well. So the next question is, what are the common symptoms? Well, the name suggests Jock Itch, okay? Itch. It's very itchy in that area. So the regions that we said, the groin region, all that region, the regions close to it, can be very itchy. The skin can sometimes be red, it can sometimes have a bit of an edge to it where the redness goes to, and then followed by a bit of a raised edge. That can sometimes happen as well on the skin. Usually the worst sections are the bit where skin folds are. So if you don't know what a skin fold is, for example, if you think of my hand here, that's what you call a skin fold. So the skin is folding between each other, so that area inside it is where the skin fold is. I hope you can see that, okay? So that area inside it is going to be the warmest, it's going to be the moistest, it's going to be the sweatiest, so the fungus loves it and it all grows in there and makes the Jock Itch worse. So the next question is, well, how do you actually treat Jock Itch? Because I'm sure that's one of the reasons why you're watching this video. Now, before we move on to medications and creams and all that sort of stuff, I'm first going to discuss the lifestyle things that you can do to help, because most likely you're not going to have those medicines and creams available right now. You're going to have to go to a chemist and buy them. So there are a few things that you can do firstly at home without buying anything. So first of all, Jock Itch. Remember, it tends to affect people who are more athletic first, but it can affect everyone as well. The only reason I'm saying this is because people who are athletic and do lots of exercise tend to wear, tight fitting clothing, and it tends to sweat a lot more because they're doing loads of exercise, and wearing damp clothing can make Jock Itch worse. So that's the first thing you need to remember. Damp clothing is a massive no. So Jock Itch can also affect teenage boys a lot as well. Again, because of the creases, because of the folds that we're talking, and they tend to sweat a lot more, especially when they're going through puberty. Another sort of people that it can affect as well, Jock Itch, quite a lot, is people who are overweight. Remember those skin creases that we're talking about? If you're overweight, you're going to have a lot more skin creases, and it's going to put you at a much higher risk. So what else can increase your risk of Jock Itch? Well, number one, wearing tight clothes, okay? That's going to irritate your skin. The second thing we want to talk about is sweating a lot in that area, in the groin area. This can also increase your risk. Moving on to the third thing that can increase your risk of Jock Itch is leaving on wet clothes for a long time, whether it's from exercising or from swimming. If you're swimming and leaving your swimming trunks on for a long time, this can increase your risk. Number four is using a damp towel or using towels that someone else has used. Definitely do not do this. All that does is spread bacteria, fungus, and everything from someone else onto you. So always use your own towel, and don't use damp towels that have been in your gym bag for a week. Do not reuse them. They're just going to increase your risk of it. And the fifth thing that can increase your risk of Jock Itch is being in close contact with someone that has it as well. Now that we've looked at what increases your risk, let's discuss what you can do to reduce your risk and chances of having Jock Itch and reduce your symptoms as well. So tip number one, you need to resist the urge to itch. Itching is only going to make things worse. It's only going to make that skin more and more inflamed and aggravated, and the fungus is going to love it because the fungal infection can spread as well, because when your skin is damaged from all the itching, it loses its ability to protect itself as well. So that means that the fungus is just going to spread and keep on spreading and getting worse. So resist the itch. Tip number two, avoid being in wet clothes for a long time. Look, as soon as you finish your workout, get rid of them clothes, go for a quick shower, get rid of them clothes and dry the area. As soon as you finish swimming, get rid of those wet shorts, have a quick shower, dry the area. The other thing you need to do is make sure that you're drying your feet last. If you're going to dry your feet first and then you're going to rub it all over your body as well, you're just going to spread that fungus. If you have athlete's foot, by the way, if you have athlete's foot and you're drying your feet first and then you're spreading it everywhere else, you're just going to spread that fungus. So make sure that you always dry the groin area first, then dry the other regions and leave the feet till last. Moving on to tip number 3, make sure that your clothes are not super duper tight. All this is going to do is make it warm there, and remember, the fungus loves it. They love that heat and it's just going to make things worse. Also, avoid wearing synthetic clothes, especially your boxers. Make sure that they're natural sort of cotton, okay? If you're going to wear synthetic boxers, it's just going to get warmer there and sweatier, okay? Also, with regards to your boxer shorts, try and wear boxer shorts rather than the briefs because they're going to be tight and they're going to be a lot sweatier. Moving on to tip number 4, make sure to always wear clean clothes. Don't wear the clothes that have been in your gym bag for the past week, for example, just like we said about the towel as well. Don't reuse them towels that have been in there for the last week that are potentially dried but still have a bit of dampness. Don't do that. It's just going to spread things. It's just going to make things worse. Make sure you always have a fresh, clean set of clothes to wear after you've gone for a shower. Make sure you've always got a fresh, clean pair of boxers to wear as well, and clean socks that haven't been worn yet, okay? That's the most important thing. Moving on to tip number 5, do not share personal things. Don't share your towels, don't share your flip-flops, don't share your shorts, don't share your clothes. These are all personal things, they're yours. Don't share them with other people. And moving on to tip number 6, if you do have athlete's foot, please try and control it and treat it, okay? Like I mentioned earlier, I do have a video on this topic as well, which again I'll leave up here and in the description below. But by treating your athlete's foot as well, it's also going to reduce your chance of getting jock itch and for it to get spread elsewhere as well. Now, it's also important to be aware of some risk factors that could increase your chances of getting jock itch. If you have any of these sort of risk factors, you should always speak to your healthcare professional about the jock itch. For example, if you're diabetic, it puts you at a higher risk. If you're on immunosuppressants, so if you're on any drugs or if you're immunosuppressed at all, you need to speak to your healthcare professional about it. It's important that you don't just leave it or try and treat it yourself, because obviously these conditions can make things worse. So now that we've learned all about the lifestyle factors and things that you can do to help treat and prevent jock itch, the next thing we're talking about is those treatments, those medical treatments, those creams that you can apply and what you can do. So let's begin. Now, there are a range of different antifungal creams and sprays and powders that you can use for that region. However, the most important thing that I can tell you is to please speak to your pharmacist first before purchasing any of these, just so they can make sure that you're safe and suitable to use it. Also, always read the information leaflet that comes with it. Some antifungals, for example, include miconazole, clotrimazole. These are all very common ones that all chemists sell. Remember, they all end in azole. The antifungals, generally, that family of antifungal all end in azole, so that's a clear indicator that you're using an antifungal. But speak to your chemist about how to use it, how to apply it best, and for how long to use it as well. And in some situations, you may have inflammation of the skin in that region as well, because it might be red and angry and inflamed. And if that's the case, when you speak to your chemist as well, they might recommend a steroid cream. Some of these are mixed, actually. You can get like a steroid cream mixed with an antifungal in the same cream, so you're not having to apply multiple creams in that region. But again, speak to your chemist, make sure you're safe and suitable to use it, and always read the information leaflet that comes with it. Okay, so we now know a little about the treatments, we know about the lifestyle, we know about the symptoms of jock itch, but when should you seek medical advice? Well, jock itch isn't really something for you to be too concerned about. Obviously, if you're immunosuppressed, if you're diabetic, those are the people who should really speak to their healthcare professional first before trying anything. However, remember as well, if you've tried to treat your jock itch with the stuff that we've discussed in this video, you spoke to your pharmacist as well, you've tried the creams, and after 2 weeks, you haven't seen any improvement, please, please, please speak to your healthcare professional. That is the most important thing. Don't just leave it. Look, jock itch is one of those things that if you leave it, it can get worse, and then eventually it can cause damage to the skin, and then it can spread to further places, and then it can potentially become bacterial. So there's many different things that can happen if it's just left untreated. So it looks like we've come to the end of this week's video. You now know all about that itchy jock itch topic. We now know all about the symptoms. We now know about why it happens. We know about lifestyle things that you can do to help with it and how to prevent it. And also we know about treatment. So you are a bit of a jock itch pro now. I really hope you found this information helpful. I really hope that it helps you, and if it doesn't, remember, seek medical advice like we've discussed in the video. Thanks for watching this week's video. Always remember that you're awesome, and I will see you next week. Hey guys, thanks for watching this week's video. Make sure to click that like, follow or subscribe button now to stay up to date with new weekly videos.